Hey guys, welcome back to Champ Talk. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you guys every week. I greatly appreciate you guys always listening in, always tuning in, always giving back feedback, all the above, man, sharing the episodes. That means so much to me, guys. When you guys share, when I find out that you guys share these episodes, and when I read the reviews, and when I hear the feedback and the subscriptions go up and things like that, man, it just tells me that this show has value, right? It doesn't tell me that I'm selling you guys something or trying to get you guys to, jump on board of my movement or blah, blah, blah. It just means that there is value to this show and that people are getting that and that we're reaching and changing more lives. So thank you guys for all of you that are subscribing and liking to the channels. And I ask that those that haven't yet, if you ever so kind, hit that like and subscribe button, leave us a review, and whatever have you. Share it, send it, like it, all the above. Guys, I am fired up for this episode right now. Now, the only bad part about this episode is that you're not going to be able to hear it for another 2 weeks, right? Maybe 3 weeks, right? So we're a little bit, we've got a few episodes in the bag, and that's the way to keep us on track. But man, dude, I am fired up about this episode. And what I'm so excited about and why it's not going to resonate for another couple of weeks, but I just went to the UFC freedom fight at the White House. I was at this historic event. Dude, this event was absolutely amazing. And I'm talking about from the top down. It delivered in every aspect. Evidently, you couldn't get tickets for it. So what happened was you had to be in some sort of raffle or some sort of thing, and you get selected. My wife got this for me for Father's Day. And we got selected, of course, because she wins everything that she participates in. I tell you, I really think she should get into gambling. I think we would really do well. And man, basically, we got it. We got the Sunday pass, so we got the actual fight pass, right? We didn't go for the whole event. We didn't even go for the whole Sunday, right? And you could be at the White House. The White House was about 10,000 people that were invites only. There was a lot of military personnel, there was a lot of people like that. But we were at the they call it the Eclipse. They were basically at it was like a fucking music festival, right? It was really cool, really interactive. Excuse me. I'm still recovering from this event, and I don't even drink. I'm just exhausted, man. We did like 30,000 steps. It was a lot. It was a long day, the heat and everything. But oh my gosh, what a historical event. And I want to talk about a couple of things that I firsthand witnessed, that I saw with my own two eyes, that I experienced, right? One, what a great event, man. Shout out to Justin Gaethje. I predicted he was going to upset Ilia Topuria. I didn't think he was going to do it, but I said, man, I've got a feeling that he's going to pull this off. And he beat the shit out of Topuria. And Topuria beat the shit out of him. Oh my gosh, what a fight. This historical event was insane because, first of all, there were so many elements, right? Now, I got a big picture point about all this, but let's just lay the context. Let's lay the lawn in the White House. One, the build up to the fight. It was hotter than fucking Haiti out there. Dude, it was like 100 degrees back to back to back. Also, we were supposed to get a thunderstorm and lightning for like the first hour of the event. So when Bethany and I arrived, first of all, we had like this insane day. Like, it was awesome, dude. We had went to Fogo de Chao for food. It was right across the street from the hotel. We stayed in a really nice hotel. She's the coupon and points queen, man. She ended up getting all these points and things like that. We stayed at the Waldorf, which was insanely expensive, an insane room and hotel in itself, but it was an experience. We kind of like what Ed Milet said, and we share that same similarity. Ed Milet said when he was on his journey from, trying to get successful and trying to do his thing and bet on himself. His electric was cut off, and he had to walk down to the beach to get showers with him and his wife and stuff like that. And he said what he would do, he would save enough money where he would go stay at a really fancy place and just see what it felt like to live like that and things like that. And I've done that before, but it's like a little bit of a different mindset the way that we're doing it now. You know what I mean? Before, I think I did it with a little bit of flexing, attitude. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Now it's a little bit different. So anyway, we like that. Bethany, that was her whole mission behind doing that and making me feel special, and it delivered. So anyway, we had that opportunity to just walk across the street, if you know what Fogo de Chao is, it's a Brazilian steakhouse where you can get to sit and you just tell them to bring the meats. And they come and they go. When you're done, you're out. So we didn't have to wait there for an hour. There was no wait. We just got in, got out, went to the event. Couple of things that we had to do that we were festival rookies. But anyway, the cool part about this event was there were so many magical things that lined up, right? And, the day that we got to the event, it was like 80 degrees. It was beautiful. The wind was blowing. They did prolong the event because the storm was coming right at 8 and it was starting at 8. And that motherfucker blew right by us, dude. That storm didn't even hit us. So what was really awesome, right, is now you had these hot days and now all of a sudden it's not hot. It's very breezy. It's very cool. It's very nice. And then you could see when the fight started an actual rainbow in the distance where the fights had went. There's a great picture online of this. And you can also see we saw lightning crashing during the first fight with Diego Lopez. Like, what better way to be an American, right? What better way to feel like you're an American, feel like rock and roll, you know what I mean? Fighting in the storm, it was so awesome. Let's talk about some other cool things, right? I think that the magnitude of America I think that the representation of America has always been to be a fighter, right? We've always had that fighter's mentality, that fighter's chance. And we've always been resilient. We've always fought against, everything. And they did some great promo videos, the UFC did, on highlighting that and so forth. And, just fighting on the White House lawn, a lot of people don't understand how important Donald Trump was to the UFC and to mixed martial arts. Where Dana White has taken the UFC and mixed martial arts and how big and impactful that is in American culture right now. We've always had football. We've always had baseball. We've always had, we've had basketball for a long time. We've had these good sports, strong sports. And boxing has been a really strong sport for us. But boxing, has been overshadowed by mixed martial arts and the UFC's explosion. And the way that Dana White and the way that the UFC has built this brand and this sport is just insane. So, the historical factors that, Donald Trump was able to empower Dana White to have his shows at his casino when nobody else wanted to touch it during a very, critical time in the infancy stages of mixed martial arts was insane. And let me tell you what else I didn't see. All the division we see? All that I hate Trumps and I hate the Democrats and all that, black versus white, us versus them and, deport the, the illegals and all these things that we constantly see jammed down our throats on social media. There was none of that. I did see like 3 protesters on the day of the event. And again, we got there late. But, and I don't know if you want to call them protesters. To me, they were one of two. They were either out of their fucking mind, standing in a group of everybody supporting this huge event, or they were paid agitators. But that's it. That's it. And let me tell you something. I know damn well that out of the 85,000 people that showed up to that event, not everybody was a Trump supporter. I saw some trans people there. I saw multi-ethnicity. I saw straight people, gay people. I saw some people that, were, of all different walks in life. And I know damn well they were not all supporters of Trump. I know that I saw MAGA people there. I saw people that, there was a lot of Make America Great hats there. And what I did not see anybody rude. I did not see anybody hateful. The chance of USA and the chance of, unity and the way that I'm talking about people would step on your shoes and apologize profusely. People were so kind. People were so nice. People would bump into you and say, excuse me. This is Washington, D.C., guys. This is a place where you see all the time online how, divided and aggressive and angry and mad and all these things that you see all the time online. And I seen 3 protesters, quote unquote, which made me just go back and say, I was right. 99% of the shit that you get fed online is bullshit and lies. It's lies. I was thinking that maybe because I live in my box here on the eastern shore of Maryland, right? I was thinking that maybe, just maybe, that maybe because I don't walk and experience these things that we see online that pisses everybody off, maybe I was a little bit, you know what I mean, in a box. Maybe just my world isn't like that. Maybe my friends and my people or the people that are around me just, you know, maybe there's some sort of alienation of me. Maybe I'm just not like the rest of the country, right? And I even told my wife, I said, listen, this is going to be a big event. We need to keep our head on a swivel because it's a great time to attack, right? If the enemy was coming to do something, they got a lot of people, important people there. You know what I mean? We just need to be smart. There's a lot of crazy people out here nowadays. We need to be smart. We need to be, you know, just keep our head on a swivel. And man, I tell you, first of all, the security was out the wazoo, but I had no problems with getting relaxed and comfortable really quickly. You know, so we're being fed a bunch of bullshit online to keep us divided and keep us against each other. And you go to this event, and I mean, you see what you see. Now let's go back to the event. Let's go back to how historical this event was, because I'm going to flip flop a little bit because I want to build some suspense. I got a message. I got a message. Okay. So not only did you see thunder or lightning and a rainbow in the background, we missed the weather. You know, everybody was talking about it was going to get postponed. Everybody's talking about the weather conditions were going to be. Joe Rogan was talking about he was worried about it being muggy and hot, and everybody had, you know, very valid concerns, right? No one was like, oh no, this can't happen. But at the same time, it all just went so beautifully, so perfectly. It just flowed so well. No one got, you know, saw a couple people get kicked out, you know what I mean? Sean Strickland, of course. but nobody got, I didn't see any fights. You know, I think there was one fight with somebody online, you know what I mean? But there was 2 women. But you didn't see any of that, right? You didn't see any kind of, it was just a really good event, okay? Really good event. And then you get to the fights. The way that they put on the promotion, or the way that they put everything on, was just so classy, so respectful, so much honor. When we were walking up to the fight, we saw, I'm talking about as far as the eye could see, thousands of military personnel dressed up. You saw the Navy, the Army, you saw the Marines. Excuse me. You saw the Air Force. You saw them all just walking. You know what I mean? And it was so awesome, man, to see that. And they went in, you know what I mean? And they were the ones, few of the people that sat in the White House on the actual, you know, the event itself. But the way that they came out with different first responders, different personnel in the military, different people of you know, prestige and who have done something and served our country. That was pretty cool. In the first fight, right away, Diego Lopez comes out and just knocks the guy out. You had 8 knockouts in this fight, which is unheard of. And then the beauty of it, all 7 fights, you know, were knockouts in like the first or second round, right? The 8th fight, the main event between Justin Gaethje and Ilia Topuria, went 4 rounds and was fight of the night, and it ended up with a stool stoppage. It was totally insane, totally awesome. You know, it was just a magical event, you know, which ended with fireworks at the Washington Monument. And the chants of USA from everyone, the high fives, the love. I mean, we were, as soon as that fight was over, everybody cleared out of there. We were exhausted. We were tired, right? It was so crazy, UFC. You get 8 knockouts and 8 fights, but yet you still go till 2 a.m. I don't understand that. But anyway, but it was insane, dude. It was just an insane, magical experience. And it represented what America truly is. And I had this feeling. I had this amazing feeling like, bro, our country needed this right now. Our country needed something like this, guys. What a better way to represent what America stands for. At this moment, you have all these exciting fights, exciting fighters. They are putting on an action-packed event. They are fighting, under circumstances they're not used to, which we don't really give a fuck as fighters. We'll fight anywhere. And then, boom, you have the main event, and the American, beats the other guy, you know what I mean? Where I'm not sure where he's from. I think he's from Jordan. Georgia, from Georgia, who is like the guy. He's undefeated. He's the big bad wolf. He's knocking all the people out. And he comes out here and he got, it was a fight of the night. Could have been a fight of the year. It was amazing representation of what America needs. And I think we needed it so bad. I think we needed this so bad. Because we have always look, there's been times in history where sports events have risen the level of unity, risen the level of the way that we as Americans have gotten along and have seen things. Mind you, the Knicks won the fucking NBA Finals. Like, are you kidding me? As rough as what New York is going through right now, and as rough as what that, organization, the New York Knicks has had, insane, right? So this is all the same weekend. The next day, the UFC puts on an event like this, and man, it just really stood out to me so much, and all the magic of it, man. It was insane, like the way that. Sorry, guys, I sneeze and my nose is running. It's insane that the way that this Cinderella story was put together. Mind you, let's get into that part. Justin Gaethje has fought for the title his entire career, and fallen short. You know what I mean? And he's one of those guys, and he loves America, and he's such a humble dude, and he's a fucking warrior, dude, a warrior. He throws it all on the line constantly. He is just one of those guys that, you want to be like, but don't want to be like, because he's just a fucking dog, man. And and he had to show that. He had to show that side of him, which again just represents what America is. And props to Donald Trump, man. Props to the president, Donald Trump. You know what I mean? I have been a supporter of Donald Trump, and I don't say that to, I don't get into politics. But at the same time, I was a supporter of all my presidents. I didn't agree with them. I didn't vote for them. But I was a supporter of all my presidents. And Donald Trump was the guy who I needed, who for me, and what his policies represented for me, that's what I wanted. I don't get into the old movements. I don't get into, and again, who knows if he's even there for us. He's done some historical things. You cannot argue with that. And I think that putting on this fight, I think that he knew that we would need something like this. You know what I mean? And, again, now let's go to the point of all this. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there that supported Trump. A lot of people out there were wearing I remember if you wore a red MAGA hat back during COVID, people were beating you up. And now all of a sudden, everyone's got them and they're selling them like no tomorrow. I remember this. I can't tell you what the policies are and what the things are happening and what the things need to go. That's above my pay grade. It's above all of our pay grades. And you're listening to these pundits try to tell you how to think and vote. And you're listening to these people how to tell you how to act and how to be. And again, this isn't a pro-Trump speech. I'm saying congratulations to Donald Trump and Dana White for putting on something that affects me directly. Mixed martial arts is my career. It's changed my life. It's brought me this podcast. It's done so much for me. And had Donald Trump not supported Dana White, and had Dana White not went out on a limb and took the risk, and the Fertitta brothers, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here doing what I love and changing and impacting so many lives. And if you want to, hate another person based upon the way they voted, who they support, if you want to hate another person based upon things they did because you didn't agree with you, but they did it because they are in a way different situation and position than you are, that's your choice. That's the part of America that we get to be proud about and appreciative of. We get to have freedom of choice, freedom of speech. We have to get to have elections. Do I think a lot of it's rigged? Do I think there's a lot of bullshit that goes on, a lot of corruption that goes on? 100%. Do I think Donald Trump is our savior? No. Not at all. Not at all. But I do support my president. I do support what they're doing. But I think that more importantly, we need to wake up as people and learn that we're being tricked online. We're being tricked. I got so many people that I see online spew so much negative and rhetoric. And then when I see them, they don't talk about none of that. None of that. And when I go to an event like this and I expected to see a lot of protests. You know, I saw more protesting than anybody else. Those fucking annoying God speakers, dude. Let me tell you something. If you think that somebody's going to follow Jesus Christ by standing on the side of a fucking corner while everybody's celebrating the birth of America, celebrating the UFC fight, and screaming doom and gloom, and you're going to be judged, and you're going to die, and you're a sinner, and all this. I don't know a single motherfucker, and I do love Jesus Christ. I am a Christian or a man of God. I don't know a single motherfucker that's going to walk up to that guy and be like, man, oh, thank you. I feel so bad for my sins. Tell me more how bad and a piece of shit I am. God, it was a horrible message. It was the most annoying part of the whole fucking thing was like 5 corners. You had these people with megaphones talking about we're all going to hell. We're going to burn and be judged. I don't think that's the message that Jesus is trying to tell us. That is the reality. I got that. But Jesus, Lord, you are not going to, we're like, what? I can see why so many people run from faith and run from the Christian faith in Jesus when you got representations like that. I know that person thinks that they're doing a great job and they're trying to help, but that is not helping. I'm sorry. You need to read the fucking room. That is not helping. You know what I mean? You don't tell the doom and gloom message to try to get somebody on board. You're trying to fear people and guilt people into coming back. Anyway, that was about the biggest protest that I saw. I didn't see any more protests and I expected to see angry leftists and liberals and Democrats and people of that descent. I expected to see so many. Maybe there was more. Maybe there was the other 2 days I was there. Dude, it was and I expected also to see a bunch of angry MAGA people. You know what I mean? Yeah, look at us, being pompous and look at us, da-da-da-da-da. I expected to see a little bit of friction, and we saw none of that. None of that. At Washington, D.C., at an event promoting fighting, at an event that some people were so against. You know that the UFC has always done, you know that the White House has always done events? They've had singers, performances, they've had all these things. There's nothing different about what they've done than what they just did. This might have been the biggest and the best, or this might have been the one that caused the most, eyes, but that's the style of the president, right? But they've always done it. There's nothing different. There's nothing different than what they've already done. But my point of this and the real true message that I'm trying to convey is it's time to wake up and stop believing the shit online. You guys are spending way too much time online watching this bullshit that's addicting you, giving you this bullshit that's keeping you addicted. The shock TV, the hate, the manipulated videos, the edited videos so they get your attention. This is for algorithms. We are being controlled by things that are much more powerful than we are because it's emotionless and it's a data thing, and that's the algorithms in AI. And people think that the whole AI thing was going to be the Terminator too. No, it's just consuming people and teaching people or tricking people into how to think. This is not real life and what we're seeing. And I encourage this more so to the teenagers and the 20 and early 30-year-olds. This is who I encourage this more so. I encourage this to you more than anything because you guys are so passionate and you guys will see something that you feel is fucked up and you'll ride. Let me tell you something. If there's anybody who has nothing to live, it's somebody who has nothing to have. Let me back up. If there's anybody who has nothing to lose, it's somebody who hasn't earned anything or built anything yet. The minute that my daughters came into my life, right? I was 18 years old. My really 17. I just turned 18 when my middle daughter came into life. Man, I thought differently on how I played around with that gunplay. Let me just keep it real. It was no secret that I had that thing on me all the time. It was no secret that I would use it. But man, when my daughter was born, it just gave me a little bit more of a governor on how far I was going to take it. Back then, I still would have took it to whatever limit. But it made me think just a little bit quicker. Hey, if you go, she's got nobody. So, and that's just at 18, right? And not everybody thinks like that. I get that. But what I'm saying is somebody that has nothing to lose usually has nothing that they've built yet. And young people are still on the quest of building things. And young people are still on the quest of earning things and getting to a place where they are having things that they're trying to lose. And they're so passionate. So when they see something that pisses them off, or when they see something that's wrong, they're so quick to run down and express themselves and passionately articulate their feelings and, whatever. And they're the most easiest groups to manipulate because they just haven't had much experience. But I think they're the most powerful group. I think that the 20-year-olds are the most powerful group. And I think that you need to hear this message more than anybody because you are who's going to be our leaders in 20 years. You are who's going to build our country in 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. You are going to be who's going to be setting the example for the next generation to come. And I think that those are the guys and gals that need to understand how manipulated and played we're becoming. And I mean, look, I'm not going to believe anybody who cites their data off of TikTok. I'm sorry. It's not valid. It doesn't give me any kind of data. I'm not going to believe anybody who just goes to Google and gets all their information and doesn't go to multiple different streams. The entire system is rigged. And 99% of the people out here are lying to you. And I encourage you to not trust me. Don't look at me and say, hey, Brandon's the 1%. No, don't trust me. I don't want you to trust me. Question what I say. Question what I do. Look at my receipts. Check out what my dude, don't believe this shit on the internet. Because most of the people want you to sign up and spend the money with them. They need your clicks. They need that. And in media and news, that's the only way they can survive is shock TV. And now we have so many independent people that can create content. And, you guys got to understand that these people will create content and they will blow up and get popular. And once they get popular and they blow up, people are running to them to give them money for sponsorship stuff, for merch stuff, for brand ambassadors, and also for political messages and messaging. You don't think that the powers to be wouldn't think that the easiest way to talk to the youth would be through the youth and through the popular podcasters, the popular influencers? I mean, come on, dude. This is an easy playbook for them. And I'm not trying to be like this us versus them type of mindset. What I am working on is I'm trying to let you guys understand that we're not in this shit that people are trying to make us seem. We are not as divided as people are trying to make us out to be. I know that there's some wrong injustices that happen, right? And I know that there's things that aren't right. But dude, we are getting it jammed down our throats so much. It's not the reality that we're living in. And it's not what anybody wants. That's the crazy part about it all. It's not what anybody wants. We're not in a space where anybody wants to be divided. We all just want to win. And we all just want to get ahead. And there's some major hurdles and challenges to get there, right? Don't get me wrong. But it's not in a space where politics, the internet, news media outlets, people are trying to make it look like. You feel me? It's not in a place where they're trying to make us look like we're just these fucking deranged psychopaths that are just at each other's throats at all times. And I witnessed that. I felt that. And I want to talk to you elders, you 40 and above year old motherfuckers. Bro, if there's any group that pisses me off the most, it's you motherfuckers. You 40 to 70-year-old motherfuckers, right? I'm gonna get on you a little bit. Come at me if you want. Now, let's even go 30, 33, 34, 35 and up. You motherfuckers don't know shit. You think you know everything because you found a comfortability place to find where you need to be, where it's comfortable and it's safe. But a lot of you motherfuckers ain't taking risks like you used to. And all you do is you talk down upon these kids and you talk down upon different groups that you don't like. And you are the motherfuckers that everybody's listening to because you got 10, 15, 20, 30 more years over everybody. And you know what? Let me tell you something. If you was a bitch-ass motherfucker in high school and all of a sudden you use some sort of position of power or some position of authority, or you got muscles in the gym, or you learned how to do jujitsu and you didn't learn the humble side of it, and you continue to be a bitch-ass motherfucker in real life, you're just an older bitch-ass motherfucker, okay? Pardon my French. But I don't, you know what used to get me when I was young, right? I used to respect my elders, right? And sometimes respecting your elders would be a line where they would cross because they were elders, right? And you knew you had to respect them. But guess what? They were actually bad people. You know that? They were actually bad fucking human beings to the core. Like, they did people wrong. They ripped people off. They were shitty motherfuckers. They might have dropped the N-word every now and then or all the time. So you would have to respect them because they're your elders and as a youth. But then all of a sudden, I became like 40, 35, 40 years old, and I realized, oh, this motherfucker was been a bitch all his fucking life. Why all of a sudden he's supposed to be respected now? You got to earn respect. You need to respect your elders in a manner of respecting people and giving them the grace because they have had experience on here. So you don't get to slap the shit out of them when you think they're wrong, but you can't put them motherfuckers in their place the way you're supposed to, right? And you motherfuckers, dude, you 35 to 70-year-old motherfuckers, right? My peers, the people that are supposed to be the leaders, man, you guys do a piss poor job of representing on who we supposed to be. You keep putting people in boxes and telling people how they should and shouldn't be and what they should and shouldn't do, and you just discredit the youth. You discredit and you count the youth out and you count the 20-year-olds out, and you live in the now, and you don't think 20 years from now when your motherfucking ass is gonna need them. You just wanna put people in boxes, and you don't sit here and take the time to teach these motherfuckers. And if anybody needs a leader right now, it's the fucking 20-year-olds and the teenagers that are out here wanderously going out here without fathers, without good representation of government, without good leaders in front of them. And it's our fucking responsibility to do that. So I'm getting on you motherfuckers, and I'm telling you, turn that shit around. Stop putting people in boxes. You wonder why they ain't listening to us. You wonder why they're not respecting us. They're not respecting us because you found your little safe fucking haven where you and your family can just tuck away in your little safety zone, and you don't have to take any risks anymore because your job pays you well, and you've made enough mistakes where you know what not to do. So you're in your little safety comfort zone, and you're not going out here and not helping these youth people become true men and women and learn how to fucking go. And you give up on them the minute they don't listen to you. You give up on them the minute they make a mistake. You turn your backs on them because they don't agree with what you say. We need to be teaching these motherfuckers more by listening. We need to be teaching these young people more by understanding, and we need to help them become great leaders and great entrepreneurs and great builders of this country and of our futures. That's a mic drop right there. And if you don't agree with me, fuck you. That's how I feel, because I'm going to do that. I've learned through this event, there's been a series of events since September for me that have kind of led me to this aha moment I had at the White House fight. And the aha moment that I had is now I know where my messaging needs to pivot. It's the same message, but I know who it needs to go to, and I know what needs to be said. And right now, I'm extremely passionate about leading these 20-year-olds. I'm extremely passionate about leading these young men and women into help finding themselves so that they don't act basically off of emotion and act off of what they do right now. I still got you, elders. I still got y'all, but you know what? Sometimes y'all are a little hard to lead because you're just pussies. Let me just say what it is. You're just pussies. You know what I mean? You don't have that fighter spirit in you anymore. You don't have that risk taker mentality anymore. You have the I'm gonna play it safe mentality. And if this offends you, if this is hitting a chord, then I'm definitely talking to you. You know it's true. We have the ability to turn it around. But my messaging and my focal point is to these 20s, the people in their 20s and a little bit younger, a little bit older, on how important it is that we start. When you young guys and gals, when you guys have a message and have a point, stop coming off of emotion. Stop speaking so much from emotion. Get your facts together first, then use your passion, your emotion to support your facts. And then when you don't get where you want to be, stop thinking that that's the end of life. When you don't get your message across or your point across, or you get shut down a couple times, That's not the end of life. That's just the end of that moment. You could just back up and regroup and play the long game. It's not that hard. And get your facts right. Do your research. And when you get to a brick wall, stop trying to bust through that brick wall. You don't need to, young people. You can create your own path. You can build your own walls. You can climb your own mountains. You don't need to do any of that. So, I don't know, man. I'm fired up. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be an American. You know what I mean? I'm proud of my country. I'm very optimistic about our president, and I'm very optimistic about this administration. I think the future looks bright. But I don't trust it. I don't trust my own asshole because I might shit on myself. So I'm not going to sit there and put all of my eggs in some fuckers that don't even know me. My eggs in my basket is going for the people, for you guys that listen to this and support this. That's who I'm putting my bet on. That's who I'm going to put my energy, my focus on. That's who I'm going to continue. Again, the message is the same. Hey, discipline, hard work, consistency, show up. You know, learn a combat sport. It's all the same. Be a leader. But now I know exactly what we're up against. And we're up against lies, manipulation, and we're up against a fucking invisible, imaginary room that doesn't exist, that for some reason continues to influence everybody to make crazy decisions. That's a very easy, beatable opponent. You gotta be smarter than it. You gotta have self-control. You gotta have the ability to recognize what is what and what isn't. And it comes down to just fundamental basics. People are people. We're always going to do people things, and we're going to do the best that we can. And if we stand together, then we're so much stronger. United we stand, divided we fall. If we stay together, if we help each other, if we push each other, if we build each other, if we encourage each other, if we support each other, if we help each other grow, if we show leadership, we will not fall victim to the bullshit that we've fallen for the past 10, 15 fucking years. I'm optimistic about it, guys. If you know anybody who get value out of this, share it. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Facebook channel, any platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, please do. And if you could, ever so kindly, leave me a review. Again, I hope this struck a chord. You know what I mean? I hope that you guys are going to be able to do something and make something happen. If not, it is what it is. You're just going to get passed behind, because I know there's a bunch of great people out here that are ready to make something happen. Guys, until next time, what are you doing today to become a champion?